can't stay in a place where they were going to be constantly reminded of the life they once had, of the people that were once in their life, of the things that used to happen. They had to physically get up and go. What's poppin', people? Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're gonna be talking about how to effectively, emotionally detach yourself after a heartbreak. But before we get into the meat of this video, I'm gonna remind you guys, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment down below when you share this video with a friend. And now we can get started. All right, so if you're new to my channel, hello, hi, how are you? I am that girl who literally takes the Bible very seriously, very literal, and I really do think that all the answers to all of our questions are in there as long as you know what you are looking for and how to look for them. So I literally found the best answer in how to get over a heartbreak in the Bible. I got this from the Bible, and the book that I'm going to be coming at you from is the book of Ruth. I'm not gonna read the whole chapter, there's no specific verse, like it's the entire story, so you have to read the whole book. It's not big, it will not take a lot of your time, but it's a good story. So in summary, the story of Ruth, she is the daughter-in-law to Naomi. Naomi loses her husband and her two sons, so hint, hint, Ruth lost her husband. So both her and Naomi are going through a heartbreak. Why can't I talk today? What do they do after they deal with their heartbreak? They get up and move. So, you guys, where do you think I'm going with this? In order to effectively, emotionally detach from a heartbreak and move on, you have to create distance. Ruth and Naomi did not stay in the place where they had to deal with their heartbreak. What a lot of people try to do, especially my generation, is if you're dealing with a heartbreak, you are still staying in that place, whether that be physically or emotionally. You are staying in a place where you're constantly reminded of the heartbreak. That's not saying to get up and run. That's not saying that you're a coward. Like, y'all, in order to get over heartbreak, you gotta get over pride. Ask the Lord to remove pride from your life. That's the only way you're going to be able to get over it effectively. But anywho, they did not stay where the heartbreak took place. They moved on. They created a lot of distance. And in doing so, Ruth ended up marrying Boaz, which, as I talked about, I think in my last video or the video before last, started or kept the lineage going and on getting to Jesus, because Ruth gave birth to Obed. Obed had Jesse. Jesse had David. David's lineage goes all the way to Jesus, and I'm pretty sure they're on, but that's really where it matters. So she got her blessing by moving on. They did not stay in the heartbreak situation. Now, for a lot of us, it's very mental staying in that situation. A lot of times we have these ideals and this thought process of what we want, how things are gonna be with this person. And if it doesn't turn out that way, it's very hard for us to let go, because we've created a world of our own in our head based off of what we see. Now, when we are walking by faith, you have to walk without looking at what's around you. Like, you're walking by faith, which means you're not walking by sight. So what a lot of us tend to do is when we're with someone or we're in a certain situation, we start to fantasize and we daydream and how things are gonna be and how things are gonna work out and we're gonna be together forever. Like, you're putting together a whole story in your head. And when that story does not happen, we don't know what to do. We're just like, whoa, this is not what I envisioned. This is not what I thought was gonna happen. Like, how did this happen? I did not expect to be here right now. And then we find it hard to detach from that emotional place that we put ourselves in, okay? Now, obviously with Ruth and Naomi, Ruth was married to her son. Naomi was married to her husband. She gave birth to her sons. So that's not something that you just daydream, but the point of the story is showing you how them moving on, how them creating distance led them to a bigger blessing than what they had before. So in saying that, in order to reach the place that God wants you to reach, in order to reach that blessing and that breakthrough, you have to have distance. You have to let go and move on. It is like so important. And sometimes distance may mean physically getting up and moving. It may mean getting a new job, going to a new school. And sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes distancing yourself means getting rid of them off of social media. Stop responding to their messages. Stop communicating. Delete all lines of communication. You need complete, full, 100% distance. In their situation, the distance from the person had to happen, obviously because they died, but they had to also create emotional distance. So for them, they can't stay in a place where they were going to be constantly reminded of the life they once had, of the people that were once in their life, of the things that used to happen. They had to physically get up and go. And that's what we have to do emotionally, physically, and visually. When I say visually, like I said before, in order to walk by faith, you cannot walk by sight. Again, when it comes to social media, when it comes to actually seeing that person, if you cannot like get up and leave a job or leave a school, whatever, you kind of have to act like that person isn't there. Or you kind of have to tell yourself, I can be cordial, I can be nice, but nothing more. Don't try to have conversation. Don't try to put yourself in their line of sight. Like literally, keep walking like you have straight tunnel vision, because you are doing what's best for you in this very moment. You are not thinking about them. And a lot of times why it's so hard for us to move on from a heartbreak is because we have this story once again in our head. Our heart is telling us we need to emotionally detach. We need to let go. But our mind is telling us, I still want this story. I still want what I told myself would happen. I want what I've been seeing and imagining for years. Like, I want that. You gotta let go. You have to retrain your brain. You have to retrain your mind. You have to develop new habits. You can't talk about them. You can't follow them. You need distance in every sense of the word. And what I've recently figured out about heartbreak, you don't necessarily have to be with someone in order to have heartbreak. Heartbreak can come from when you don't get what you thought you were going to get. Heartbreak is heartbreak. Heartbreak does not mean that you're in a relationship with someone and they broke it. It literally means what it says, heartbreak. Your heart was attached to something, it didn't happen, now your heart broken. So that could be you were attached to getting this job and you didn't get it. You were attached to getting this certain house and you didn't get it. You were attached to having this certain type of child or certain type of man and you didn't get it. Heartbreak is heartbreak. It's whatever you set your heart on that you did not get in that moment. Now you are heartbroken. So do not limit heartbreak to just romantic relationships. It can literally be anything. You thought you were gonna be in this career by now. You thought you were gonna have this much amount of money by now. And now you're heartbroken because things didn't turn out the way you planned, the way you imagined it to. So now you're heartbroken. You guys, I don't know how many times I have to reiterate this. Heartbreak does not mean that it has to be romantic. We're just going to use that for an example because that's what everyone usually goes through. That's what everyone has in common in this world. But saying that to say, in order to emotionally detach, once again, distance is needed. Distance is your best friend in this moment because you have to move on for you. You have to get over yourself, get over the dream that you had in your head, especially if it wasn't from the Lord, and you have to move on. Like I said, Ruth got her Boaz by moving on. Yes, she followed her mother-in-law. I believe they went back to Bethlehem, but regardless, they did not stay. They did not wallow in self-pity. They did not stay there to mourn and just remember them. I don't ever want to let go. I don't ever want to forget you. Like, they didn't do any of that. They had to survive. They had to move on and do what's best for them. And moving on does not mean that you're angry with the person. That does not mean that, you know, you're going to completely forget about the person. These are memories. Like, it was what you once wanted, now you don't have. Like, their memories are going to be part of you. It helps shape you. You just have to change your perspective and detach yourself from what you thought was going to happen and ask the Lord for a new view, a new perspective, and seeing how is this new journey going to work for me. Because once again, heartbreak is not limited to romantic relationships. Heartbreak is literally anything that you set your heart on and it does not happen the way you thought it was. That's heartbreak. Hope this video was helpful for you guys. If it was, give it a like, give it a thumbs up, share this video with a friend. I'll put this in the comments when you do so. Do not forget that 5-day FRIYAYs are going to be on my Instagram from now on, _it's_Kendra. That is where I break down key Bible and life principles in under 5 minutes on my IGTV on Fridays. The time frame of posting is really just random, so you gotta follow me so you can get notifications when I post the video. Hope you guys really enjoyed this video. I enjoyed making it. I enjoyed getting new revelations and new thought processes because, you guys, I literally just filmed the video before this, and as I was like making a TikTok and just trying to, you know, dissect a little bit more, I got this revelation and more of the biblical principles, and I was like, oh, how did I miss that in the beginning? So you guys, this is take 2, and I think this is one's gonna work, and if it does, let me know. Hope to see you guys in my next video. In the meantime, in between time, I will see you next time. Bye.